So let's try to edit one of our tasks, for example, this one. So as you can see, we have an error, something went wrong while fetching the task, try again later. So let's check our console. As you can see, we have an error and here we have not authenticated, which means that we are not logged in. Here inside our edit task component, we have the use effects, and inside we have the fetch task. So here we have the call and we fetch our task using the ID. So we need to provide token. Let's first get token. So define a new variable. So we can destruct the token from state using the use selector, and use selector has state and state has the user. So now we have the token. All we need to do is to use it here after the call. We need to use the getConfig as we have seen before, and the getConfig takes the token. Okay, so now let's save and refresh, or it's already done. So as you can see, now we have our task, and we need to do the same thing when we update. Let's copy from here and paste also here. So save. Let's try to update one of our tasks. Let's change this to something else. Let's make it, or let's change also the category and make it done and submit. Your task has been updated, and as you can see, here is our task. Now we need also to check in the backend that the user owns the task that he wants to update. So even though here we are displaying the user's tasks, so we need to check in the backend to make sure, because the user, he can manipulate the front end and try to update a task that he doesn't own. Okay, so let's move to our task controller. So here we are using show method to get the task when we try to edit. So we need first to check if the user owns this task. If yes, we display it. If no, we tell him that the task that you are trying to edit is not your own. Okay, so let's first add here variable. Let's call it task to update, and we use let's first use the request. The request that comes with Laravel. So let's use here request and here request, and we can now get the user using the request, and the user has tasks, and we need to check or to find using the find or fail, and we give it a task ID. Okay, so if this task exists, which is task to update, let's check here if task to update exists. So what we will do, we will return the task. Okay, else if it doesn't exist, we can do something. We can just return a port 404. Okay, which means that the task doesn't exist. Okay, so let's go back to our edit task here. So here we need to, so when we try to edit, so here we need to check for the 404 page, because if we try, let's do something. If we try to fetch, for example, the task number ID, or not number ID, number 10, not number ID, or the task that has the ID number 10. Okay, so if we try to do that, let's refresh the page. So let's refresh the page again. So as you can see, we have something went wrong while fetching. Let's check here. So as you can see, we have no query results for model, and we have 404, as you can see here, not found. So we need to do the same like we have done inside. Let's move to our app, not app.js, but inside our navbar. So let's move down. So here we log out the user, and here we get logged in, and here we check. So let's copy this part and paste it here. Okay, and here use else instead. So let's change it to else. And here, as I told you, we have 404. So we check 404. So all we need to do is to display a message. Okay, let's remove this, or let's copy all the message and paste it here. And we can tell him task not found. Save. Let's check here. So as you can see, task not found because the user is trying to update a task that he doesn't own or doesn't exist. Okay, let's provide task ID. So here we need task. So where is the task? So the task ID, which is this one that we have here. Okay, so let's add it here like before. Save. Let's try to edit again, or it's already refreshed. So let's try to remove this from the body and add something to the title and change category, change the done and submit. Your task has been updated. So as you can see now, it's updated. Okay, now what we need to do, if you want, you can do the same thing also here. So to make sure, so you can do the same thing, or you can add a function. You can add a function that do this. So it checks for the currently logged in user if he is or if he has the task, and it returns the task, and you check if the task exists, you return. If not, you abort 404. And you can do the same thing here. When the user tries to update, you can do the same thing with the task. If you want to maximize security, okay, to check inside show and also inside the update. Okay, now we need to do the same thing inside our destroy. So now if we try to delete this task, so we'll get as you can see, something went wrong while deleting the task. Try again later, because here the user is not authenticated. Okay, let's go back to our tasks list. So here what we have, let's move down and check for the delete. So this is delete. So we need to provide get config and give it the token. And I think we have already, so we have here the token and the get config. Okay, so save. And as we have done here, let's do something. Let's add. So since we will use this function inside the update and also the delete, let's add here a private function. Let's call it check if user owns task. Okay, and here we use the request, and here we have the task ID. Okay, so this function, what we'll do, so let's add here. So this function, let's copy this part and paste it. So it will check if the user owns a task. And here we have the param, which is task ID, and it will return, so it will not return the JSON resource. So here, let's remove it, and here we check like we have done inside not the edit, inside show. So like we have done here, we can copy this line or cut this line and paste it here, and here return the task to update. Or we can do something, we can remove this variable and use the return without using the variable. So we return the request tasks find, or let's do something, let's use only find. So the find or fail will return before 04, the find will return the task or null, and here the return type we can make it task or null, so using the question mark. So we can say that this function will return task or null. Okay, so what else we need now? Let's go back to our edit. So where is the edit? Not the edited show, this one that we have here. Now we can do something. We can check if using the function that we have defined, which is the check. Where is it? So check if user owns the task. So we give it the task ID, which is this one. And if the task exists, we return the task. If not, we abort the 404. So that's why I have removed find or fail, because here we are returning also 404. So no need to return it twice, because the find or fail returns also the 404 if it doesn't find a task. So now we have the first check. We can do the same as I told you for the update. If you want to make 2 layers of security, we can do the same thing here. And we can do now the same thing when we delete. Let's copy this part from here and paste it also here. Let's cut this part and paste it inside. Okay, so here we are deleting. Okay, let's check the code that we have done, if it is working or not. Let's refresh the page just to remove the previous errors if we have any errors inside our console. Let's, as I told you, let's try to update again to make sure that the update is still working. So we have something went wrong while fetching. Let's check. So what is the problem here? Check requests must be of type. So I think we have two. Where is it? We have two. Where is it? Let's go down. So here we have the request and task ID. Okay, we can do something. So here we are using, we can do something. Let's okay, request, and here's the request. Okay, we can send the request also from the show from here. So let's send also the request. But I think that without using the, so you can send only the request that we have here, And here the request will be the type of the request, or I think let's remove it. I think if we remove it, it will work because we have already here the requests. Okay, let's do that again and see if it is working or not. So it's still not working. Okay, let's check the same thing. So undefined variable task. Where is it? Let's go back. So here is it. So no need to add task ID. We need to use no need to add the task and guest ID. We have the task ID here. Okay. And let's check if we are using task ID. So here we are using task ID, and we need the same thing when we update. So here, and same thing when we delete. But here we don't have the request. As you can see, we can use it here, or we can use it. Let's do something. Let's use it here and remove it from here. So now it will work. Okay. So let's check. We have the requests and we have where is show, and we have here the request. Let's go back again. Let's refresh. So now we have our task. Let's check our console. We don't have any error. Let's try to update this task with something else. This is a new task. Title. Same thing for the body. Let's change category, and done. Your task has been updated. So as you can see, here is our task. Okay. And we can update it again and again. Okay. And if the user tries to update a task that he doesn't own, you will get an error as we have seen before. Okay. So now we are done. So let's do something before. Let's go to the home page. So as you can see, now we can access the home page even though we are not logged in. So we need to protect our home page. So only logged in users can access the home page. Okay, let's do the same thing like we have done before and change this component to home and save. Okay. Let's refresh the page, or it's already done. Let's do that again. So as you can see, we can't access the home page unless we are logged in. So submit and logged in successfully. Okay. So now we can create updates and delete our own tasks. So the title has already been taken. Let's add another title. Your task has been added. Okay, so what we need now to do, let's do something. Let's try to add an admin to our. So here we have only the tasks of our users. Let's add an admin, and admin will have all tasks, and admin can delete a task also because he is an admin. Okay, so let's try to do that.